Welcome, Panther fans, to another edition of Pascagoula Panther Preview. It's got to be the winter edition. It's cold out here.
Oh, come on. It's not that cold, Harold, but it is a great, big, beautiful day to be a Panther. We got our guys out here getting warmed up for our fourth block workouts. Right now, we've got about 90 kids on roster, and they're coming out either during fourth block or after school to get their workouts done. And Coach Lala and the rest of the coaches are really putting them through the rigors of what it means to be a football player in Pascagoula.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm excited. I mean, being the off season, to see this kind of a turnout. What is exactly, as far as the weight room and stuff, can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. First off, when we talk about our off-season programming, we were able to get one cycle in, unfortunately and fortunately, before Christmas. So what we do is we try to go through a cycle where we reacclimate the players to the weight room. And last year, fortunately for us, we played until Thanksgiving. So by the time we did that, we were already into January. But because we were unfortunately not in the playoffs this year, we got to give them a week off. We got to give them a week to fine-tune things, and then when we came back from Thanksgiving, we hit a 3-week cycle, and we were able to get in a cycle before the fall or the winter break, before we went home for the holidays. So when we got back in January, Coach Lala has a plan where we go through a hypertrophy phase where we try to add size to those kids, and we work work a lot of repetitions, working on size, making those muscles grow. Then we come back after that, we go to a power phase where now we're working on our power phase. Today we'll be running flying 20s. Looks like we have over there flying 20s, and we're working on speed and explosion and power exercises, power cleans, and a lot of just quick movements that use a lot of explosion. And then we're working a speed phase as well on the track. So we're trying to work all three: speed, explosion, power. And our goal is, as we get through this, we will peak out right before spring football. Then we'll go into our in-season lifting program for the 3 weeks of spring. And then when we get ready for summer, we'll give them 2 weeks off. And then the Tuesday after Memorial Day, we'll get into our summer workout program, which will be 38 days of working out for the Panthers, and gives us an opportunity to get ready for the season as we get closer to August.
Well, we're getting ready for baseball season too. So I know we have players that play multiple sports. As far as our baseball players that start on the football side of the ball, are they getting the workout also?
They're coming in. They get a couple of days a week. It's a little harder for them because with baseball you start practicing a lot more games or a lot more often. But we try to work it out to where we have them meet up with Coach Sissner, Coach Hogan, and they're able to come get their workouts in. We encourage them to get 2 a week. And but what they're doing, they're running, they're lifting, they're lifting with the baseball team as well. So they're still working. And with our, when you're playing and you're being competitive, that's a great thing. We have a lot of our kids run track as well, so that's a good thing. You're working power and explosion when you're running track, so that's a good thing. And we encourage them to be multiple sport athletes. We have a couple of kids that are still playing basketball. Our basketball team's taking on Ocean Springs tonight in first round, or in a first round game for the district tournament. A win tonight puts us into the playoffs for basketball, so it's a big time for Panther sports right now. So, but man, what a gorgeous day to be a Panther.
I said cool or cold, but it is cool with the wind blowing. So, the old guy like me, blood thinners, it's kind of cool.
But your boots keep you warm.
Absolutely.
And you wear square toes, so that's good.
Well, hey, every man's got to know his limits,
There you go.
Now, getting back to some serious stuff. Let's talk about upcoming spring training. Can you tell me a little bit about what will go on there?
Yeah. Before we do that, though, I want to make sure we give a shout out to a couple of guys that signed their national letters of intent last week. We had Houston Johnson signed with Jones County Community College, and then Aiden Alsop signed with Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, and then Tyrus Burton signed with Harding University out of Searcy, Arkansas. And a lot of people may not have ever heard of Harding University, but if you know Division II football, you know Harding, and you know Harding well. They're a top 10 program in Division II. They consistently win 10 games or more. They run the flex bone, and they're really excited about having Tyrus come up, and we're really excited about him going. So we got those 2 guys in JUCO. We got some other guys that have some offers from some smaller schools that we're hoping that they're able to take advantage of that opportunity and play football more and just go and represent the Panthers at the next level. But going to the spring ball thing, we'll start April 25th. We go 15 straight days. We have 5 days have to be in shorts, 10 can be in pads. So we'll come out and we'll work. We're going to get after it. One of the cool things about having the number of kids we have in our fourth block is we're spending Wednesdays. That's Warface Wednesday. It is a neck up exercise where we're going over our foundational values of work, attitude, respect, family, accountability, character, and then enthusiasm, making sure that our guys understand what our foundational principles are and what it means to be a Panther. And then we're going over some mental management stuff, teaching them how to use their mind to create a conscious, subconscious, and self-image that work together to peak their performance. Because come fall, a lot of times the mental preparation is the most important part of it. And so that's what we're working on. And then on starting this week, we go football school as well on those Wednesdays. So we're going to increase the time we spend in football school going over the base offense, base defense, what we call things, how we speak our language as coaches so that they understand the language that we speak, and give them a chance to exchange ideas and talk about things getting into the spring ball.
That kind of should be a little bit easier than in the past. We have a lot of returning starters.
It's always it's
not starting over.
It's always starting over. It's just like teaching English every year. You have to start back over with your basics and then build back on it. And so we spend a lot of time on that. So hopefully, starting next week, next week, we'll be able to come out and on Fridays do some individual drills and things. And our quarterbacks and receivers have been staying a couple of days a week working. Our linebackers have been staying and working. Our defensive linemen, if you look over here, they're coming out a couple of days a week and working on their hands and their feet and just really working on some skills that are going to help them in spring so that we can focus on alignment and assignment in spring. And whether it's offense or defense, if you know what to do and where to be, that eliminates 90% of your problems. Because we don't have any problem with our effort, we don't have any problem with our execution when we all know what to do.
That sounds good. Another thing, let's talk about team leadership. We've got some seniors coming back. We've got some that has, as juniors and sophomores, even took sort of a leadership role there. Mm-hmm. Who are you looking at to be your team leaders this year?
They're still emerging. We got some guys that have really stepped up, and guys like BJ Barnes. He started as a sophomore. He's back. He's out here. Jeremy Flora is going to be a senior on the offensive line. Isaiah Ben in the backfield. Cam DeFlanders in the backfield on the defensive side as well. But you have Nick Davis is another guy that's really gotten some leadership capacity and working on that. But it's Corian Evans is doing a really good job looking around, and Josh Battles is stepping up and leading. So we have a lot of guys that are in powerlifting too. So so those guys are in and out, and they're really showing up. And the big thing is leadership has to show up every day. Right. And the hardest part of leadership is that, in effect, being able to step up every day and do the same thing. No matter how you feel, no matter what's going on at home, you got to put that away for the time you're with your teammates, and you got to get out in front and you got to be that dog. And if you say you're going to do those things, then you got to do them every day. And that's what we're trying to teach them through our value class, our Warface Wednesday, is how tough that is mentally. It's hard for adults to do it, much less young men that are growing into themselves. So we're spending a lot of time trying to teach them that leadership capacity and finding out who can be consistently that guy that we can lean on and depend on.
Well, that's exciting. And I'll tell you, Panther fans, we're just gonna do this multiple times throughout the off season, if that's okay with you. Gonna let you kind of know what's going on in Panther Nation here, keep you updated, and I guess we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you for having us, Harold.
Thank you.